Okay. So now yesterday we were discussing about different layer architecture, right? So here this is client, and this is your web server. This is your MySQL server. Okay. So the user is the client. Okay. So what client will do? The client will fill some form. Okay. So the client will fill some form, right? Some web form. Web form. So that filled form will be sent to the filled form will be sent to web server, and the web server. So this field form will be sent to web form in the form of a request, right? And this will be saved in the MySQL server by using the web server. So now the web server will send the same form information to MySQL server in the form of columns, right? So this is your insert operation. Okay. So your web server will do insert operation, right? So then once the records are inserted, the web server will give the reply. The MySQL server will give the reply as message inserted, right? Once the web server gets the response from the MySQL server that the record is inserted, then it will send the response to client that you will send the response to client. Response to the client that your user account is created. Okay, right? Now this is the actual scenario where exactly the real-time execution will happen, right? So now for that, here in the web server, the programs may be written in the form of by using any programming language. So since we were discussing about the Python, right? Let us assume that the programs here in the web server are written in the Python language. Okay. Assume some web server is developed. With some website is developed with some Python language, right? Now here, who will do this insertion operation? The Python program will do the insertion operation. Now how we have to develop a programs which will communicate with the MySQL server, that is your database, and do necessary operations. Whether that may be insertion operation or it may be a refetching record fetching operation, or it may be updation, or it may be deletion, anything, right? So who will do all these actions will be done by the web server program, that is your programming language. In our case, our Python programs will do these tasks, right? So now how to work with those things, right? So how to work with the database? How to work with database, right? Now that is our topic today. Okay. So before that, so already yesterday what we have discussed, we have created one user account in the MySQL server, and we have logged in with that user account, and we have created one database, one table, and inserted some records also, right? Now go back to, okay, before going that, so now presently what we are doing, we have, we are executing our Python programs and this MySQL server programs both in our system only, in our system only. Now that means these two actions we are doing in the same system, right? We are working and these two actions we are doing in same system. In fact, we are doing this also in the same section, same system. We are using our system, our laptop. We are writing Python programs. Then we are writing the like records for database, and we are executing the program. That is from, that is your client. Who will execute your program? The client will execute. Na? So all these three operations we are doing in our system, in the single system, right? But still, so we need to have the communication between web server and the database. Now our interest is between these two. How we can communicate from our Python to MySQL server. Okay. So already for working with Python, we have installed Python in our computer, right? Already we are having Python in our system. We are working with the Python now. Now for working with MySQL server, we have installed already MySQL server in our computer and we are working with, right? Okay. So already we have installed Python, we have worked with Python, and we have installed MySQL server, we have worked with MySQL server also, right? But now to have the communication between the your Python program and MySQL server, we need to install some package, because by default your Python won't recognize this MySQL server, right? Python won't recognize your MySQL server, right? So let us take new window. Just a minute, I'll say this. Okay. So now here, how I want to communicate from. So I want to communicate with MySQL server. All right. So this is your MySQL server, right? And this is your Python VM, right? Virtual machine. Okay. Now, so I want to establish the communication between these two. So for that, so basically in our computer, Python is already installed. So along with the Python, some packages are installed, right? So that is default modules are installed. What are the default modules? The date time library, calendar library, math library, those basic for basic programming purpose. What are all the required modules are there? So those modules are installed, right? Now to connect with MySQL server from Python, we have one package called PyMySQL. Okay, so PyMySQL package is there. So that package needs to be installed in your system. That package needs to be installed in your system. If you are having this PyMySQL in your computer, if you are having this PyMySQL in your computer, right? So then we can communicate from your Python program to MySQL server. Okay, right. Now here our job is, before going to write the program for database, first we should have PyMySQL package in your computer, right? So that needs to be installed in your computer. How we have to install this package? How we have to install this package? So already we have worked with modules, right? So already we have worked with modules, right? Modules. So now, so in the Python shell, if you type help modules, what are all the modules installed in your computer? So that will be displayed, right? This already we have seen, and we have worked with the math module. We have worked with calendar, date time module, and calendar module also. I have given some information to do homework, right? So all these modules are already installed along with the moment when you install this is math module. So similarly, we'll have date time module, and calendar module will be there. Okay, calendar module. So these are different modules which are installed by default along with the Python software. Okay. So while working with these modules, what we did, just simply in our program we have written import and we have written our program, right? But now we want a new module which is not there in your default modules, right? So we want new module which is not there in your default modules, right? Okay, so that needs to be installed. Okay, so how we have to install that particular software and where we will get that particular software? Okay, so how we have to install a module for MySQL server and where we will get that particular software? So already in the previous classes we have discussed that. The previous modules we have discussed that. Okay, so we have discussed PyPy.org. We have discussed about this PyPy.org, right? So this is the repository where we will get all the packages for Python. So whatever the application you want to work with, right? For that application, what are all the required modules? All that modules you can get it from this particular repository. So repository means it is the place where all the packages, all the modules, codes are stored, right? So here, now this is the repository for your Python programming language. Here you will get all the packages, right? So and apart from this, and one general GitHub is there, that is the common repository for it suppose lot of programming languages. Even cloud also, cloud repository also you can get in the GitHub. Okay, so you can get in the GitHub. So this is a GitHub. So here you will get it, right? So here you can see here all these are clients for GitHub. So this is the common repository, and if you have the sign in, I think I may be having account. Okay, see here you will get you'll find lot of repositories. Of course, you have to search, right? So now here I uploaded some packages or some packages. Raju Kannam my package, some Node.js custom modules package, right? So these things I uploaded. These are my packages. Okay. Of course, you can if you have very good code. If you have developed one application, very good application that you can upload here as a package, right? And there is a simple procedure to upload the package here. So if you go to the help, there they have given the step-by-step procedure how to upload the package. Okay, so that means here what I mean to say is this PyPy and GitHub. These are the repositories where we can get all the packages for our Python programming, right? So now here, now at this time, I want to work with MySQL server. So for that, I need to have a package called PyMySQL package. I need to install in my computer, so that I can get from GitHub as well as PyPy repository. Okay. So now, okay, I'll go back to the command prompt, our presentation, right? Okay. So how we have to install? Okay, I'm telling we can get all the packages there in PyPy as well as in GitHub, right? Fine. But how I have to install? How I can install in my computer? So for that, there is a manual procedure. What is that manual procedure? Is you have to download. You have to go to the PyPy or GitHub, download the package, then extract the package and copy all the library files in the library files of your Python library folder. In your Python, after installation of Python, you will have one library folder in your computer for Python. In Python, bin folder will be there. Their library folder, everything will be available. So there you have to copy all the library files of the corresponding package. Okay, this is your manual procedure. Of course, this is the manual procedure for any software installation, not only for this Python or Java environment. So any package or any software installation, this is the normal procedure. This is the manual procedure. Okay. So, but generally we won't follow this, but because in this we have to copy the corresponding library files in the exact position. That means all the library files you have to extract from the downloaded package. That files needs to be copied in the library folder only. If any tool files are there, tools should be copied in the tool file folder only, right? So once you downloaded the software, now you will have the library files, you will have the tool files, you will have some DLLs, right? Of course, right? So all those things you have to copy in the corresponding folder of your installed software, right? So, but of course, this is little bit. If you copy in different folder, now it won't work, right? It is little bit complicated, right? Complicated and confusing, right? So generally, we won't follow that manual procedure. Okay. Then what is automatic procedure? Okay. Then automatic procedure is pip. Here in our case, it is pip. It is Python package installer. Okay. So pip is a package manager for your Python packages or modules. Okay. What is package manager? Now it is like application manager, you know, in your mobile. Right? In your mobile, we will have the application manager, app manager. Right? So generally, a repository means here repository is GitHub or PyPy. Right? In our mobile case, that repository is a Google Play Store, right? So there, if you click on install, so it will be installed in your system. How it will be installed? With the help of application manager running in your mobile, right? So here also, along with Python, when you install the Python, you will get Python package installer also as a default, right? So by using this pip, this Python package installer is a package manager for all your packages. You can install, you can uninstall in your in your mobile by using the app manager. We will install, uninstall, we will remove the data, we will remove the cache, right? Cache data, all those things we will do now. Here also we can do same operations. Okay. So here, now here we'll use the pip. So, okay, what is pip? Pip is a package manager for packages or modules. Actually, what is package? What is package? A package contains all the files you need for a module. Okay, so modules are Python code libraries you can include in your project. Okay, already we have discussed about these modules. Modules are nothing but it is a group of programs which are offering certain functionalities. Group of programs which are offering certain functionalities. Okay, so those functionalities can be used in our system, right? All those programs, how we can keep in our system? So all those programs are grouped as a package and it will be available over the repository, right? So we have, if we install that package, then all the files related to that particular module will be copied into your system. Then once it is copied, you can include into your program. Of course, we know how to include those into our program by using the keyword called import, right? By using the keyword called import, we can include the modules and you can run with that, right? You can use those programs in your applications. Okay, so here our pip is the Python package installer. By using this, 1 minute. So by using this, we can install our packages, right? Now, how to check whether the pip is installed in my computer or not? So for that, we will have a keyword pip. If you type pip in command prompt, you can get it, right? So now let us go to command prompt. Okay, here I'm typing pip. If you press pip, so it will display the pip, right? So it will display all the information about the pip, right? So now if you want to see the pip version, pip dash capital V you have to give, or version you can give. Okay, so my pip version is 20.1 and it is giving the location where it has been installed also, right? So it is installed in Python 3.8 32 library site packages pip, right? Okay, now of course this is the latest version. My pip is latest version, 20.1 is the latest version. Okay, for example, if we install Python 6 months back, still we are using the Python. So at that time, pip version may be different, right? So when you install the Python software in your system, you will get the pip, right? So from time to time, the versions of the pip is changing. That means they are adding the new features and releasing it. Okay, and without installing entire Python, you can upgrade only your pip also. Okay, you can upgrade your pip version also. So for that, the command is Python pip install upgrade pip. Okay, so it is there here. You can see here requirement already up to date because the latest package is 20.1, right? So it is showing this message. If it is different version in your system, right? So that will be downloaded and automatically updated with this particular command, right? So the command I have given in the PPT also. Say check if pip is installed, okay, by using the pip command. And if you want to upgrade, okay, here I have not given Python m pip install dash upgrade. This is only for installation. Of course, nowadays you are getting with Python only, right? For upgradation, what you have to do? Dash upgrade pip you have to give. That's all. Okay. Now, so here, and you will get help also here. The moment when you type a pip so you got pip commands here. So if pip install means if you want to install any package, you have to give pip space install and package name. Download means that means the difference between download and install is download will only download, it won't be installed in your system, right? So generally we want to install. If you want to have the package in your system, then only we will download now. So generally we won't do download separately. Okay, so we will do pip install, right? So now, and you can search also pip search and leave pip list. Of course, some of the commands we will see. Pip list I'm giving. So it will display all the packages which are installed in your system. Okay. So here package and its version also pip is installed. It is 20.1, right? And PyMySQL is also installed in my system. So that is 0.9.3. And setup tools. Of course, this will come. This setup tools and pip will come. If you install the Python, these two packages are default packages. These two packages will be installed. Here, additional package that I have installed here is only PyMySQL. These two packages. Now, the moment if you check in your system also, you will find these two packages, pip and setup tools. Okay. So PyMySQL I have installed for working with MySQL server, right? So of course, then pip install, right? If you want to install any package, pip install PyMySQL. If you give PyMySQL, now here to work with the MySQL server, we need to have this particular package in our system, no? Yes, by default, the PyMySQL is not part of your Python package, right? So that you have to install additionally. So in my system, it is showing since I have installed PyMySQL already in my computer because I started working on this MySQL programs now. That time I have installed. Okay. So if it is not there in your system PyMySQL, you have to install the PyMySQL in your system because this is the first step to work with MySQL server from your Python program. This is the first step that you need to do for working with MySQL programs, right? MySQL application, the database, right? So pip install PyMySQL, you just give the enter, it will install PyMySQL package. So since already it is there in my computer, requirement already satisfied, that is already it is installed in my computer, it is showing. If it is not there, it will download the package and it will be installed. Of course, it will take some seconds. Then seconds it will install. Maybe approximately 1 minute. Within 1 minute, it may install the entire package. Okay. Okay, any doubt here? So first step you need to do is you have to install the package. How to install the package? You have to go to the command prompt and give pip install PyMySQL. Okay. PyMySQL. Hope it is clear to everyone. This is the first step we need to do for working with MySQL server. Okay. Yes. Now, okay, the package is installed, right? Now we have if we have given the pip install PyMySQL, the package will be installed in your computer. Okay, and I want to check whether the package really installed or not. Whether the package really installed or not, I want to check it. Okay, so for that, what you have to do? You have to go to Python shell. Python shell. Of course, Python shell here also you can go. Right? How we can go to the Python shell? If we type py, we will go to Python shell. Python shell will open. Right? Python 3.8.2. So on so. Right? So here, what you have to type is import PyMySQL. PyMySQL. Okay. This we have discussed in our very first class. So this is called interactive mode of execution, right? So now if you type import PyMySQL and if you press enter, you should not get any error. Now here I have not got any error. So PyMySQL package is successfully installed in your computer, right? And if you are not worked in the command prompt and if it is difficult for you, so I'll show you in the Python shell also. Ideally, Python ideally we have worked na. we have worked in Python IDLE, right? So these are Python IDLE, na? So this is our Python shell. So here you can type import PyMySQL. If you press enter, we should not get any error. Okay, we should not get any error. Right now, here I will show you generally, normally what the people will face, right? So generally, the people will face some difficulty here. That I'll show you, because if you have installed multiple Python instances, so in my case I'm having Python 3.7 also in my computer. I'm having Python 3.7 also in my computer. Okay, I'll open 3.7. Just a minute. Yes. Hope everyone able to see this screen, right? So this is Python 3.7, because in my computer I have installed 3.7 and 3.8. Of course, 3.7 I might have installed long back, right? Now afterwards, so 3.8 is installed. Right now, this is 3.7. If you open this import, and if you open this, and if you type PyMySQL here, you will get error. Why? Because even though I'm having Python 3.7 and 3.8 in my computer, so presently I'm working with 3.8, right? So when I open the shell in the command prompt, when I install, so generally that PyMySQL package was installed for 3.8. Okay. Then if I open 3.7 software and if I type there, I will get definitely error, right? So be careful if you are having multiple Python softwares in your system, right? Don't become nervous because I installed PyMySQL but it is not working. Okay, so that for that reason, maybe in your system you may be having multiple instances of your Python software. Okay, you just check in which Python software you have installed the PyMySQL, then open that shell and type there. So you will get it, right? You will not get any error. And Anuradha madam, so you are getting error when you are giving pip, right? So if you are getting error means, I think you might have typed pip in Python shell, right? We should not type pip here. In Python shell, we should not type. If you type in Python shell, you will get error, right? We should type pip in command prompt, right? Command prompt. Okay, now I'm closing this, right? Let us go back to our actual instance, what we are working here, right? So import, if you give import PyMySQL, you will not get any error because already Python is installed here. Okay. Fine. So is it clear to everyone? Now to work with MySQL server, first step is we have to install PyMySQL in your computer. For installing PyMySQL package in your computer, what you have to do? You have to go to the command prompt, type pip install, pip space install, then PyMySQL. Okay. So if you type that and if you press enter, then it will be installed in your computer. Once it is installed, you just check it whether really this PyMySQL is installed or not. Otherwise, just generally it is better to check. Once it is installed, it is better to check, because when you are installing, if any in between, when the package is installing, if any network problem or anything, so it won't be installed all the files. All the files won't be installed in your computer, right? So it is better, always better to check whether it is installed or not. To check how to check whether it is installed or not, just go to the Python shell, either in the command prompt or you can open IDLE. So there you can type import PyMySQL and press enter. If you don't get any error, that indicates your PyMySQL software is installed in your system successfully. Now you are ready to work with MySQL. Okay. Right. Now let us go back to our PPT. Right. So pip, of course, all these things we have discussed. And if you want to uninstall the package, you have to give pip uninstall a package name. If you want to uninstall, same PyMySQL, because already just we have installed only PyMySQL. Apart from the two already existing packages, we have installed only PyMySQL. If you want to uninstall that package, just simply you have to give pip space uninstall. In place of install, you have to give uninstall, then package name. So it will be uninstall, right? So now this time don't do that, because now we have to work with MySQL. Once it is over, once those MySQL sessions are over, you can uninstall if you want, right? Okay. So this already we have discussed. So MySQL from Python. How I can work with MySQL from Python? So by using the package called PyMySQL. Okay. What is PyMySQL package? PyMySQL package is an interface for connecting to a MySQL database server from Python programming language. Okay. So it is a interface. It is a interface. What is the interface? So generally, what is the meaning of interface? Because your Python software, your Python programming language is having set of rules and regulations, right? And your MySQL server is similarly, it is having a different application, right? It is a different application where we'll have another set of rules and regulations. In every programming language, we'll have our own rules and regulations, right? At the same time, in every application also, in every server also, we'll have some rules and regulations. Okay. Now, when you want to communicate with two programming languages or two applications, right? So it is like a normal person's normal human being. So one person X is there, person X is there, person Y is there. Person X knows only English, person Y knows only Hindi, right? Now person X knows only English now, so that means he is having one language. So for that some grammar rules, something is there. So you know everything about English language, and person Y you know everything about Hindi language, right? Now if I want to communicate with this person X and person Y, right? Directly these two, he will talk in English, he will talk in Hindi, right? Nobody, the second person won't understand what he is talking, right? So generally, what we should have a mediator, right? We should have a mediator. So what that mediator should know? The mediator should know both English and Hindi. Again, if you put mediator, which you don't know Hindi or English, it is waste, right? So the mediator we should have, because if you want to communicate both X and Y, person X and person Y, since they are not, it is not possible to communicate directly X and Y, right? So we will have some mediator. What that mediator will do first? He will listen to person X, he will receive the information in the form of English language, then he will convert it into the Hindi, then he will tell to the Y person. When Y person tells, he will receive the information in the Hindi form, then he will convert, he will understand, he will convert it into the English, and he will tell to person X, right? So here that mediator is important. Without that mediator, it is not possible to communicate X and Y. Okay? Here also, actually that mediator, technically we will call it as interface. He is interfacing, he is connecting to, that means he is the connecting point for the two persons. So that is the reason we'll call technically as interface. Now here also Python is having its own set of rules and regulations. MySQL server is also having its own set of rules and regulations. We cannot write MySQL query in Python program, right? And similarly, Python program we cannot write in MySQL server, right? If you do so, then definitely we will get error. If you write a select star from some XYZ, select star from Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1 in Python program, generally it will give the error because it will not understand what is select, what is star, what is from, what is Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1. That is what yesterday we did, na? Right? And in MySQL server, we cannot write for X in so and so, right? Or print hi, how are you? If you write print hi, how are you in MySQL server, you will get error. Okay, that means Python is not understanding the MySQL language and MySQL is not understanding the Python language, right? But still we want to work with Python and MySQL. So definitely we need to have the mediator, right? We need to have the mediator. That mediator is responsible to convert what Python is telling into the understandable format for the MySQL server. And similarly, what MySQL server is telling, that will be converted into the understandable format for the Python tools, right? So that mediator is called as interface. So who is that interface here now? PyMySQL is the interface. PyMySQL package is the interface between the Python and MySQL here. Okay. So generally we can develop the interfaces by using the software programs or hardware, right? So the interfaces can be software or hardware, right? Okay, so here PyMySQL is a package. Now, package is nothing but a group of programs. No, say here PyMySQL is interface. It is a software interface which acts as the mediator between your Python and MySQL server. Okay, so any doubts? Hope it is clear to everyone why we are going to use PyMySQL, right? Okay, so here. Now it implements what exactly PyMySQL is having. That means in PyMySQL package, we'll have the programs now. What exactly that programs are written for. So it implements Python database API version 2.0 and contains pure Python MySQL client library. So that means it is having the group of programs how to communicate and connect with the MySQL. Of course, API means application package interface. Okay, so generally we used to hear a word API, right? So if you want to work with, two different softwares, work with two different softwares or two different applications. So generally we will have a mediator because every application, every package is having its own rules. So to communicate with another package or another application, definitely we need to have the mediator. So who is that mediator? API is your mediator, application package interface. Okay. Now, how do I install PyMySQL? Already we have installed in our computer. Pip install PyMySQL, right? Now, okay, I have installed PyMySQL in my computer, right? Fine. Now, once it is installed, how we can connect with the MySQL server? So after installing PyMySQL in your computer, you need to know about two methods from the PyMySQL library. Okay, those are very important methods, that means functions, right? By using those functions, you can work with MySQL applications. Okay, in that, first function is connect. What this connect method will do? Connect is a constructor, right? So one class is there in that PyMySQL, one class is there called connect class. For that, one constructor is there, that is connect constructor. Okay, so this connect constructor creates a connection to MySQL server from your Python, from your Python program. This function will create the connection to the MySQL server and returns the connection object. Okay, and returns connection will be created from your. So I will explain here. So this is MySQL, and this is your Python program, right? Python program. So by using the connect method, the connection is created. Right? The connection is created by using a method called connect. Right? By using connect constructor. Right? Once the connection is created from your Python program to MySQL, the name of this connection, that means the object of this connection is returned to your Python program, and what you have to do is you have to save that particular object with any name. That means now once the connection is created from Python to MySQL, always you have to, if you want to send any data with the name of that corresponding connection, you have to send the data. Of course, this you will understand very easily in program. Okay, so no need to worry about that. Okay, generally now you remember that connect method, connect constructor will create the connection from Python program to MySQL. Once the connection is created, it will return the connected connection object, and programmatically we will handle that connection object. Okay, so this is your first method you need to understand. Okay, and remember here connect constructor is taking 4 arguments. It is taking 4 arguments. What are all those names? Host. That means now we are telling connect MySQL server, right? Where your MySQL server is running, whether your MySQL server is running in your same system, or it is in different system, or it is in cloud system, where it is running, that URL you have to give. That URL of the MySQL server you have to give. Now, in our case, we have installed MySQL server in our computer. Okay, so that means MySQL server is running in our same system, right? So in that case, host will be a local host. Or for example, I have not installed MySQL server in my computer. I am using IBM Cloud Bluemix, that is IBM Cloud. So in IBM Cloud also, they are offering database services. In that database services, MySQL server is also there, right? So now I want to save all my data in that particular server. Okay, so then in that case, what you have to do? You have to give the URL of your MySQL server running in your Bluemix Cloud. Okay, or I'm having one server in NSTI. Their MySQL server in NSTI server, MySQL server is installed, database server is installed, and it is running there. Right now, I want to save all my data in that particular server. Then, when it is installed and running means when it will be called as a server, if it is connected to the clients, right? So when it is running, 1 minute. Hello. Hi, sir. Hello? Yeah. So I got one call. That's the reason I muted. Okay. So here, connect constructor will take 4 parameters. In that, first parameter is host. Host is, so where your MySQL server is running, that URL you supposed to mention here, right? Now, for example, I'm having my MySQL server in NSTI. In NSTI, I'm having server there. MySQL is running, right? So, and it is connected to the internet, right? So, when the server is running over the internet, so it may be having the URL, na? It may be having some web address, na? www.nstibangalore.com, something like that. Okay. So then I can connect by using that URL. You can connect. So that URL you have to give here. Okay. Right. In our case, we are running MySQL server in our same system, so that the host value always local host. Right? Clear? So then the next parameter is user, right? To connect with MySQL server and to store your data, to retrieve your data, to delete data, to update the data, you should have the access to MySQL server, na? Right? Now I told my server is there in NSTI. I can connect with that MySQL server, but I should have the permission to. I should have the permission from the server to work with the database, na? To insert your records, to delete your records, to update your records, right? So how you will have the permission for that? Your server administrator may give your username and password, na? Your username and password may give may be given by the administrator, your server administrator, right? So in our case also yesterday, we have created our own username and password, na? Your own username and password we have created for MySQL server, right? So here user means that username. Yesterday I have created Raju underscore Kannam, right? So that is my username. Password is whatever the password I have given there, that is my password. Okay. Then remember, in connect variable, connect constructor, I told 4 arguments. Na? The first 3 arguments are compulsory, mandatory. So without these, host address, username and password, you cannot connect with the MySQL server, right? And the 4th parameter is database. This is optional. Okay. Fourth argument is database. That means, so in your MySQL server, you have logged, after logging into your MySQL server, you will have that multiple number of databases, na? With which database you are going to work, that database we should mention here. Of course, that database, if you want to select now at the time of connection, you give the database name, right? Or I don't want to select the database at this time, I will decide afterwards in my Python program. Okay, then you can leave it as blank. But the first three arguments must be compulsory. Okay. Is it clear? Any doubt? Okay. Is it clear? So this is your first method that you need to know before working with MySQL. Okay. And second method. Okay, connection is created. Connection is created. But connection is created means now here, this is assume this is system 1 and this is system 2. I have connected both the systems through the LAN cable, right? Now if I write my document here, whether I can access here? Yes, I can access here. If I write one document here, whether I can access here? Yes, I can access here. Both, because both the systems are connected internally. If you do one task here, that can be accessed here, right? So if you do task here, that can be accessed here, right? Okay. Now MySQL server is connected with your Python. MySQL server is connected with your Python. Now I want to execute one query in Python. Sorry, that MySQL query. So what query we have executed first in MySQL, right? I'll open MySQL workbench. MySQL workbench. Okay, just a minute. Okay. So we have executed. What is that? Select version, right? Select version. What is it? Oh, sorry. Limit no database. Okay, actually, just a minute. What is that command? See the version. Select version again. Okay. So what I'll do is I show this and run new query. Select version. Right. So version is 8.0.19. So this is the first query we have which we have executed now, which we have executed in our MySQL server. Okay. So the same query I can execute. I can execute in my Python program also. So here, if you are typing my select version here in MySQL server, because this is a MySQL server, this query is as per the rules of MySQL server now. Okay, so it is executing here. But if I want to execute from my Python, if I want to execute here in my Python program, right? So for that, we will have one method, because the query will be obviously the query will be executed in MySQL server only. Here one method will be there. That method will take the MySQL query, and that will be sent to the MySQL server for the execution. Once it is executed, it will get the result. That is the responsibility of that method. Okay. First method is connect method. Connect method is it will create the connection between the Python and MySQL server. Right? Once the connection is created, by using the second method, we have to execute the query. We have to execute the query. That query will send the query to MySQL. Whatever the query there we are giving there now, so that will be sent to the MySQL server. There it will be executed. Once it is executed, it will get the result back to that particular method. And from that method, we will take it. Okay, because if we directly query in your Python program, Python won't understand. Python will throw syntax error, right? Okay, so that's the reason we have to use that particular method. What is that method? That method name is cursor. Cursor. Okay, that method name is cursor. So cursor method is used to take the query, right? So in the cursor method, you have to write your queries. So that query will be sent to MySQL server, and 1 minute. I'll take pen. Okay. So that query will be sent to MySQL server through a connection, right? And here it will be executed. Once it is executed, it will get the response, and the result will be stored back here. Okay. Right. So here the second method which we are going to discuss is cursor, right? First method is cursor, connect, and the second method is cursor. Okay. So correct cursor method. Again, this cursor is again one more class, right? So it is from Python PyMySQL package. It is another class. So and this is having some multiple number of functions, right? This cursor class will have multiple number of functions. Multiple number of functions. In that one function is there execute. Execute. This function is used to execute the given query. Right? So cursor is a class. In that cursor class, we will have the multiple functions. In that first function is execute. So this execute function will execute. This routine executes an SQL statement. Whatever the SQL query you have given, that query will be executed. It will be sent to the MySQL server for the execution. Then it will be executed. Right? So the SQL command may be parameterized this placeholder. Of course, these things we will see in the program, right? Okay. So this example. Of course, example we will see insert into a table called people values. What values you want to insert? Okay, and what are the variable names, column names, right? This is example, right? But here, what you have to remember is here in cursor class, one method is there execute that will execute the query, and this method will use in our every program. In our every program, we will use this method. Okay, right. So if you write the first program, then you will understand clearly, right? As of now, I'm discussing how to work with MySQL from Python, because all the theory part I'm discussing, right? So once this theory part is clear, if you write our first program, then you will understand very easily, right? Execute many. That means now I want to execute. This execute function will execute only one query at a time. At a time, it will execute only one query. And if you want to execute number of queries at the same time, right? So you can use execute many. Okay. Generally, we won't use this in our programs, but for understanding, for sake of understanding purpose, in one of the program, I have used this program to show to you how you can use this particular execute many method of cursor class, right? Right. So, of course, if it is comfortable to you, you can use for executing the multiple programs, multiple queries, right? Otherwise, I told now generally what we will do now. So, why I'm telling this execute many, we won't use many times, because if you want to execute multiple queries at the same time, if you want to execute the multiple queries at the same time, what we will do is we will write stored procedure in our MySQL server. Just will execute that stored procedure, right? So that stored procedure will contain the number of 100 queries also you can write there. So all 100 queries will be executed in the MySQL itself. That's the reason I'm telling execute many. We won't execute, we won't use much, but I have demonstrated in one of the program, right? Okay. So now this execute will execute the single query. This execute many will execute multiple queries, right? And once it is executed, for example, I have executed select star from city, right? Yesterday we did now. So here, so what I will do is I'll use Raju underscore db1. Okay, I'll select the Raju underscore db1, right? So then use table Raju underscore db1 underscore db1. Okay, so these two queries I will execute. What happened? db1 is not there. Raju underscore db1 underscore db1. Okay? Then why it is giving error? Unknown error. Raju underscore db1 underscore. TB1. So sorry. So once it is selected, okay. So the database is selected. Now I want to select. I want to display the records of table. Na? So for that, select start from Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1. Right. So now this I'll select start from. Okay. So this I'll select and execute. Okay. Now here how many 5 records are there? Right. For suppose if we execute this particular query from the MySQL, right? If we execute this particular query from Python program, so result what you will get 5 records, right? 5 records. So where these results will store, because I told that this cursor object, cursor method will send the query to the MySQL. There it will be executed. Once it is executed, the result will be come back to the cursor. Now the result will be stored in the cursor. How I can take that result into my Python program? How I can take into my Python program? How I can use that result in my Python program? So for that, I have to get the result which is stored in the cursor. Na? So for getting that result which is stored in the cursor, we have a 3 methods. One is fetch one, fetch many, fetch all. Okay. So in our case, we will have 5 records now. So if you give fetch one method, it will fetch only one record. Okay. It will give fetch only one record. Fetch many will fetch how many records you have mentioned in the bracket, that many records it will be fetched. For example, so now I'll demonstrate here. Okay. So from that query, so from the select star from Raju underscore table one underscore Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1, we will have the 5 records now. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 records are there. Right? So if you fetch one, only the first record will be given. The first record will be given to the Python program. Once the first record is given, what happens? That record will be erased from the cursor. Once the record is given here, given to the program, that record will be erased from the cursor. Okay. Now, so when you will get only one record, if you give a method called fetch one. If you give fetch one, you will get only one record. Okay. Then if I give fetch many, if I give fetch many, I'm giving 2. Okay. So if I give fetch many, so what you will, so 2 and 3 will be given to the 2 and 3 will be here. 2 and 3 will be given to 2, 3 will be given to the program, and the 2 and 3 will be erased from the cursor. Okay. Right. Now if you give fetch all, right? Fetch all. Now I'm going to give fetch all. Right? If you give fetch all, so there is fetch all, right? All the records which are there in the cursor will be given to the Python program. All the records which are there in the Python program, which are given to the Python program. Now how many records are there? 2 are there. 2 will be given. If next 100 are there, all the 100 will be given. Right? Okay. So that means once the query is executed, the result will be in the cursor, and as per your requirement, if you want, you can fetch only one, you can fetch only two, or you can fetch all the records at a time, right? So that can be done, but for that different methods are given. If you use fetch one, only one record will be given to the Python program, and if you use fetch many, whatever the number you have mentioned, that number will those many records will be given, right? If you give fetch all, so all the records will be given to your Python program at a time. Okay. Okay. Hope it is understood to everyone. Of course, once if we start the program, we'll understand. Right? Fetch many means it fetches the number of rows, the number of records which are mentioned along with this particular method. Fetch all will fetch all the records from your cursor. Right? Now let us go back to our first program. Right? Now let us write our first program from Python. Right? So for this I will use Python IDLE. So here this is looks good, white background something. Na? So let us come back to all previous program we have executed in Python, right? Okay. So let us come back and work in IDLE also. So we'll write our first program. So just a minute, I'll open the first program. Okay, fine. Right? So here, now first, already PyMySQL package was installed in our computer now. So what you have to do to use that particular package, this is common. To use any package, any module, what you have to do? You have to use the import command. By using the import command, you have to import that particular package to your program, right? So that is the first line, always. You can use PyCharm also, madam, no problem. PyCharm, that is only IDE, na? That's all. And remember here, because since from last 20 classes, we are using PyCharm only, right? This ideally we have used very long time. That's the reason I want to use this. And if you want to execute in PyCharm, I will do next program in PyCharm only. Don't need to worry. Because I have not opened. Why I opened this ideally? Ideally, I already opened in my computer, right? And PyCharm was not opened. Because for opening PyCharm again, it will take some 2 minutes. No? That's the reason. I'm lazy little bit. That's the reason I'm using whatever the software is open. Okay. So first statement, always the first statement should be import PyMySQL, because this is the mediator to connect with MySQL, right? So without which we cannot work with the MySQL. That's the reason we have to import this particular package module into your program. Okay. Now, I told you two methods. In that, first we have to make the connection. We have to make the connection. So connect PyMySQL dot PyMySQL dot connect is a constructor of PyMySQL package now. So that's the reason you have to use always PyMySQL dot PyMySQL dot connect. First argument should be your server URL, right? So my MySQL server is running in the same system now. That's the reason I'm giving the server name as localhost, and the username is Raju underscore Kannam, right? And the password is Raju 123. Okay. And the database name you have to mention. Of course, for this particular program, database is not required. So I'm not using the database. Okay, I'm not using the database. I told you already. Connect constructor will take 4 arguments. In that, first 3 are compulsory, and the fourth argument database is optional one. If you want to work with any database, you can give. Otherwise, you can leave also. Okay. No, now I don't want to work with any database. That's the reason I'm not giving any database name. So these 3 things should be compulsory, right? So now connection is created. This will create the connection. Now it will connect. That means the moment when this is executed, your Python virtual machine will establish the connection in your same system, MySQL server, right? In that, it will be connected into the MySQL server by using this username Raju_Kannam and this password. Okay, right? So now here, that means here it is creating the tunnel with the correct connect constructor with the username who wants this connection, because this MySQL functionality, this MySQL functionality can be used only the authorized persons. Na? So who is that authorized person? What is his username and password? So already username is created. Remember, before giving that username and password in your Python program, that username and password must be created in the MySQL, right? Otherwise, it will tell that I don't know who is this user, right? So since I have already created Raju_Kannam yesterday, right? I am mentioning that. So I want to connect with you. Who is asking your connection? Your connection is asking by Mr. Raju_Kannam, right? And this is the password, his password. Okay, then it will check, okay, whether Raju_Kannam is really there. It will check in the database, okay, Raju_Kannam and his password also. Okay, if username and password are matching, then it will give the connection to the Python. So it will tell that, okay, connection is granted. When the connection is granted, every time if you want to interact with this MySQL, you have to use that connection name, right? So for that, you need to store the connection name in your program, right? So this will create the connection. This will contact MySQL server in your local system, right? And it will tell that Raju_Kannam wants to access your functionality, right? Your services, right? Password is this one. Okay, so now the MySQL server will check it, okay, whether this user and password is really there. Yes, it is there. Okay, connection is granted. That connection is granted now. That granted connection I'm storing in a variable called data_base. Okay, I'll show in my_connection. My connection. So I'll show in a variable called my connection. Okay. Coding window is not visible. Is it visible? No? Bhavana? Okay. So this will create the connection in the local system, right? And with this username and password, that connection I'm storing in a variable called my_connection, right? Now in my program, if I want to contact MySQL server, just no need to give entire thing always. No need to give every time. Where is the host? I mean, where it is running? What is the user and what is the password? Right? Once a connection is created, it will return the object. Now, then from next time onwards, you can use with the name of the particular object. If you tell that object name, now, then you will understand. Okay, this is so and so user, and is already verified. Already is granted with the connection. Right? So then immediately it will connect. Right? Okay. Connection is created. Right? That connection object is there in my_connection variable. Right? Now, once the connection is created, I have to create the cursor. Second method is, because without the cursor we cannot execute any query. Connection is created. Now I want to execute the query in the MySQL, right? But how I can execute? For that, I need to have the cursor object now. So for that, I have to create the cursor. So the cursor, so whatever the connection is there now, my underscore. Okay, my underscore connection. That means for this particular connection, I am creating one cursor. I'm creating one cursor. Cursor can be created by using the cursor function. So you have to mention the connection name dot cursor. Remember, cursor can be created only after creating the connection. Without connection, what you will do with connection? What you will do with cursor, right? So cursor is used to execute the queries in MySQL server, right? So when you don't have the connection with MySQL server, what you will do with cursor? We cannot do anything. No? That's the reason a cursor can be created only with the connection object. That means once the connection is established, then you can create the cursor object. Okay. So here my cursor name is my underscore CR. My underscore CR. Right. So now my underscore CR is, that means for connection is already created. For that my underscore connection, I'm creating one cursor. So that cursor, I'm storing it as, I'm naming it as my underscore CR. My underscore CR, my cursor. Okay. Then what we will do? We'll execute the query. What is that query? CR dot. To execute the query, what is the function we have to use? Execute. What is the function we have to use? Cursor function. Execute. Right? So here cursor name. What is cursor name? My underscore CR. My cursor name is my underscore CR dot execute. Execute. So this will execute the specified query. Specified query. So what is the query? This query already I executed in MySQL. Na? So this query already I executed in a cell. Right? So now here I'll execute select version. Okay, select version. Right? Version is 8.0.19. Okay, I should get the same answer there also. Right? Now the same query I'm going to execute from my Python program. Right? Okay. So now what I'm doing? Select version semicolon. Right? This query. So this query will be executed. Once this query is executed, where the result will be stored? The result will be stored in the cursor. The result will be stored in the cursor. Na? The result will be how many lines? The result will be how many lines? Result will be how many lines? Only one line result. Only the version. It will return only version. Na? Right? Okay. So the result will be stored in the cursor. Now what is the method to get the result? What is the method to get the result? What is the method to get the result? Either you can use fetch one. This will fetch only one line. You can use fetch many. You can fetch multiple lines. It can fetch all the lines. Now since the result is only one line, so you can use any of the method. I'll use fetch one. Okay. I'll use fetch one. Okay. I'll use fetch one. So where is the result? It is the result is in cursor now. What is the cursor name? My underscore cursor dot fetch one. So that result I'm fetching into one variable called result. Okay, result. Okay. So then the result I'm going to print in my print result. Print result is nothing but it is normal Python statement only. No? It will be printed. Then close your cursor and close your connection. Once your work is over with the MySQL database, you should release this. You should release the connection. You should release. Once your job is over with the MySQL, then you have to release this particular connection. That means you have to release this particular connection. Okay. Now there is no connection between your Python program and MySQL. Whenever you want, you connect. You do whatever you want. Once your work is over, you close the connection. So how we can close the connection? By using a statement called mention your connection name. What is connection name? My underscore connection dot close. Open bracket, close bracket. Of course, closing cursor is not required. If you don't close also, no problem, because when the connection is closed, the cursor will also automatically close, because the cursor is created with the name of connection. Nah? When the connection is not there, how the cursor will exist? The cursor will also close automatically. And if you want to close immediately, programmatically, you can do that. Right? Now, we'll execute this. We will execute this. Okay. We'll execute this. So it is giving some error. Name cursor. Sorry. I'll go back to program. Some error it is giving. Name cursor. Oh, here it is deleted. Na? My underscore connection dot cursor, right? So save it and run. Once it is run, you can see here it is printed the version 8.0.19. So we have executed the query in MySQL, and that result we are getting into your Python program, right? So like this, you can connect with your database and you can do whatever you want to do. Okay. So any doubts? Any doubts? And remember here, this is your simple program, right? But when you are executing any query, right? So always it is advisable to keep in the try except blank, because if I give, for example, now the password, I will give wrong password. Okay, I will give wrong password and I'll try to run. See here, since I have given the wrong password, when I try to run the program, you will get the runtime error, right? So if this is displayed to your customer, then he will feel that you are not developed the application properly. He will report that application is not at all running, right? But why he is getting this? Since he has given the wrong password, that's the reason we are getting this. But nowhere it was indicated as it is wrong password. Okay, right? So for this, what we supposed to do? We have to use the exception handling, right? So that's the reason you have to keep try. You have to keep in try. When the query is executing, that query needs to be put in try block. Okay. If any error, if any exception, sorry, except, right? Except, what will write? Exception. We'll print the error also. Exception as error. What will write? Print problem in connecting data PS. What is that problem? We will display here. Not format error. Okay. Now if I write now, if I write, what will happen if I execute? So this I am getting error from here, na? So I'll write all the things. The connection, from connection, we will write here. Okay, right? So now I'll run now. If I run, here it is giving problem in connecting database. That is error cryptography is required for SHA-256 password for caching SHA-2 password. That means password is wrong. So the error message is this one. Okay. So my connection is not defined because the connection was not created since the password is wrong. Right? When you are giving the password, right? When you are giving the wrong password, when you are trying to create the connection from here to here, and you are telling here that so and so user is asking and his password is this. So immediately it will check that username and password. If the password is wrong, then who is he? I don't know. Then the connection, it won't give the permission. It won't grant the connection. No? So then the connection won't be created. So that is the error, right? So now always it is advisable to keep in. Always it is advisable to keep in try and catch. Of course, here we are getting one more error because if you can see here, so okay, that is displayed. But why we are getting this error? Because for closing the connection, we have written here now my underscore connection. So always this should be written in the finally keyword. Okay, my underscore connection close. Okay. So when the connection is not created, when you're trying to close, then it will definitely throw an error, na? Since the connection is not created, why you are closing the error? Why you are closing the connection? That's the reason we are getting error. Okay. Now here, I'll give correct username now, correct password, RAJU. Now, if you run it, it will run fine. See here, it is coming, right? So always, when you are working with MySQL, always put your code in try and except block. Right? Okay. So now what we will do is, so this is simple one, na? So we will do one query. Okay. We will do different program. If this program is clear to everyone, and we will go to the next program. Whether it is clear to everyone? Any doubts? Right. Now what we will do is, I'll go to another program. Okay. Otherwise, I'll do one thing. I'll save as simple program. I'll do save as simple .py. Okay. Right. Now what I will do, instead of fetching the version, I'll do select star from. Okay. Select star from. Now, but before that, I'll explain here. Now here we have the number of databases. Na? Number of databases. Presently we are in which database? We are in Raju_DB1 database, right? Raju_DB1 database. Okay. So what I will do is select star from Raju_DB1_TB1. Okay. So that means in Raju_DB1, one table is there, Raju_DB1_TB1. So in that some records are there. How many records are there? You can see 5 records are there, na? 5 records are there. So now the same information I'll get it from Python, my program. Okay. Okay. So what I will do for that? Sorry. I have not shared the screen. Huh? Okay. Okay. Fine. So now here Raju underscore DB1 database is there. Now here these are the four databases. Presently I was in Raju underscore DB1. Why? Because this Raju underscore DB1 is only bolded. Na? So that means now presently I was in Raju underscore DB1. So there one table is there. In the Raju underscore DB1 table database, we will have one table. What is that table? Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1, right? So I'll fetch the records from that particular table. Now for fetching the records from that table, what is the query we need to execute? Select star from Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1, right? TB1. Now if I execute this, so I'm getting 5 records, because since 5 records are there in that particular table, I'm getting 5 records, right? Now the same result I'll try to get it from Python program. Okay, so try to get it from Python program. So let us go back to our Python program. Okay, my connection, this is the username, yes. Okay, and here we have to select database also Raju underscore, because to work with Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1, first you have to select the database. Now what database you need to select? Raju underscore DB1, right? Raju underscore DB1. So in the connection, I'm telling that you please create the connection for same system which is running in the same system. This is the username and password, and this user is having one database called Raju underscore DB1. You please connect with that particular database. Okay, we're telling to them, we're telling here that we are telling that now the Raju user, his password is so and so, and he is having one database also. That database name is, what is the database name? The database name is Raju underscore DB1. You please connect with that. Okay, so it will take username and password. Yes, it is correct. Then it will connect with the database and it will return the connection, and that connection will directly work with this particular database. That connection will directly work with this particular database. If you tell the connection name, automatically it will connect to the MySQL server. Raju user, Raju underscore DB1 database will be connected, right? So there, whatever you want, you do that. Okay. Now what we want exactly here? Okay, connection is created. Then I'm creating the my underscore connection equal to PyMySQL dot connect localhost, means it is running the same system. Username is Raju and password is Raju123. This is the database name, right? Now after that, what I have to do? I have to create the cursor. I have to create the cursor to execute the query. Na? So my underscore CR cursor is equal to my underscore connection dot cursor. Yes. Okay. Now I want to execute the query. What query I want to execute? I want to execute select star from Raju underscore DB1 underscore TB1. Okay. Now I'm telling to the cursor, my underscore cursor, I'm telling that execute this particular query, semicolon you have to give, right? Execute this particular query. Now this query will be executed, the result will be stored in the cursor, and I don't want to fetch one by one, I want to fetch all, right? I want to fetch all, right? All the records will be fetched and it will be stored in the variable called result, and I'm going to print result. All the 5 records I'm going to print. If any error comes in the connection, so I will handle that. Okay. Once the operation is over, I'll close the connection. Remaining things are same. Now I will execute this. See here. ID is 1, Raju Kannam, 9848007337. This is the second record. This is the 3rd record, 4th record, and 5th record. Okay. Here I am getting. Now here, what it is happening? That all the 5 records are there. Na? That 5 records are returning to the Python in the form of, what is this? Tuple now. In the form of tuple. Every record will be returned in the form of one tuple. Okay. So here total 5 tuples are returned. Now I don't want like this. I want to display in some good manner, right? So that means I want to display one after the other record. First record, second record, third record, fourth record, fifth record. In 5 lines I want to display. So that very well you can do in your Python, right? In your Python program, you have to change the code, right? So it is returning 5 records now. So 5 records, I don't want to display all the 5 records in tuple form. I want to display it in a very good format. So for that, what we will write? For record in result, right? For recording, for every record in result variable, for every record, what I am going to do? Print. What is that? Record. Okay. Now if I execute, I'll get in 5 lines. I'll get in 5 lines. First, this is your first record, second record, third record, fourth record, fifth record. Okay. Okay. Still, I don't want. Still, I'm getting every record in the form of tuple only. No, I don't want to display the tuple. I want to display ID equal to 1, right? Then name equal to Raju Kannam, mobile number is so and so, right? So what we'll do, that also you can do. What you have to do, you change the code, that's all, right? For every record in result, after getting every record, what you have to do? Again, you write one more for loop, or you can change print as. What is that? First one is name, na? Name 0, right? Okay. After displaying the name, I want to give some dash. Then, sorry, first ID, na? First is ID. ID is first one I will display. Then name, then mobile number, right? Dot format dot format. What we are going to do now? Record of 0, right? So record of 0 will be, you can see here, what is the record of 0 value? Record of 0 will be ID. Record of 1 will be name. Record of 2 will be mobile number, right? Record of 0, comma, record of 1, comma, record of 2. Okay. Then close the print function. Right? Now you execute it. You can see here. ID is 1, name Raju Kannam, mobile number, so on. Now we are not getting in the form of tuple, right? We are getting in the form of whatever the format you want. Or you want name should be in 1 line, ID should be in 1 line, name should be 1 line, mobile number should be 1 line. After that, some stars. Okay, that also we can do. So that programmatically we have to change that. Okay. So what we have to do? So after printing this, I don't want dash. I want new line. So for that, you have to give /n, right? /n, right? Then after name also, I want to change it to the new line, right? Then after this, between every record, I want Okay, now if I execute, ID is 1, name is Raju. Of course, maybe in the program I might have given name. Okay, so that's the reason I'm getting here. I'll change that name. Okay. Okay, I'll not change anything, just I'll change that name. Okay, ID, name, mobile. Okay, ID2, ID3, ID4, and whatever the format you want, you can display. Right. So once if you get the records from MySQL server, whatever the format you want, you can display. Because in Python, whatever you want, you can do. Right. Hope it is clear to everyone. Any doubts? So please ask me. Right. So with this program, I will stop today's session. Okay. Now I'll take up doubts for some 5 to 6 minutes. Another 10 minutes time is there. We will take all the doubts, right? And if you have any doubts, you can ask. If you want me to repeat any some portion, I'll repeat that. Okay. And I hope it is clear to everyone how we can connect with the MySQL. See, once if we can connect with the MySQL, then whatever you want, you can do. See, we will connect with the MySQL and we'll get the records. After getting the records in the Python program, we will do whatever the format we want. Data row in column format. That means table format, na madam? Trupti madam, can we show data in row column? Yes, the table format. Okay. So that also you can we can do table format, but for the table, the corresponding thing we have to include. I'll see, madam, because the table object. What is the table object? Not sure. I'm not sure. Just let me. Please give me time. Let me check that. What is the object in Python for getting the information table format? So I'll show you. No, for everything there is an object. Table object will be there. By using the table object, we can display. Only thing is, now presently I don't know that what exactly the table object is. In which library it is there. So that module I have to check which module it is there. Which module I have to import. Definitely, I'll. In the next class, I'll try to display in the table format itself. Sir, I want today recording, but some network issue I can't understand sometimes. Actually, Manish, I don't have the recording. I'm not recording the class. So Nimi only doing recording. And if anyone is having, you just contact Rakesh. Rakesh, if he is having, you will give. So Rakesh will give. Rakesh is having today's class record, and he will give it to you, Manish. I think in YouTube also Nimi channel it is available. Okay. Okay. So Bhavana is telling that it is available in YouTube Nimi channel. You please send that link, Bhavana. And any other doubts? So any other doubts? Yeah, please do practice, and this is very important. If you do practice, then only you will remember. And if you understand, if you leave as such, then tomorrow, maybe after some 2 3 classes, you may get doubt. Again, why we are writing this connection? Why this cursor is required? What is this execute? Fetch one, fetch all, fetch many, execute many. All what is all these things? Nonsense you will feel. All of you, please practice today before coming to the next class tomorrow. Please practice today. So, any doubts? So, no doubts, no? Okay, madam. Thank you, madam, for Trupti, madam. Thank you for attending regularly. Because when we have started class, our strength is 300. Now today, if you see, our strength is some 50, now 30 to 50, like that. It is very. So in 30 sessions, it has drastically come down to 300 to 30. And since you are interested, you people are interested, I'm continuing this. Yes, ma'am. Now only the people who can follow the classes regularly, I mean, who can understand continuously, who are practicing daily, those people only continue. Because if they don't practice, then they will feel, obviously, they will feel that this is what is this? This complex. Bhavan, I think you can work in that SQL. We have configured that Oracle SQL develop client. You can work in that. There is no difference in working in MySQL Workbench or SQL or Oracle SQL developer. Okay. Otherwise, also, if it is not working, you can work from command prompt. You can work from command prompt. You can work from command prompt, and in the meantime, we will solve the issue. And the best suggestion is, if possible, you just install Windows 10. Generally, Windows 8 and all will get some lot of problems. I can say it is a failure operating system. That's the reason they have not continued 8. Immediately they brought 10. So if you can install Windows 10, okay. Otherwise, if Windows 10 is not possible, you try to install Windows 7. Windows 7 will work fine. But presently, Windows 7 service also stopped by Microsoft. So it is better to install Windows 10. Yes, Shankar, all Python videos are there in Nimi portal. It seems video YouTube portal. Nimi YouTube channel is there. In YouTube में Nimi channel है. उधर पूरा videos post कर दिया. Nimi. Okay, Bhavana, you can. What you have to do is you take pen drive, you do bootable. You first you download the ISO image from Windows 10. Okay, Windows 10. Then you do bootable pen drive by using the Rufus or any other software. Then you normal OS installation you follow. That's all. You know how to install OS? Yeah, please share. Jyoti, madam, give some live example, sir. What live example you want, madam, and what kind of a example, live example? Because I not understood clearly. Whether any application is there in your mind or what? Okay, Bhavana, you just here our my students are there. Rakesh and Manish, Rajesh, these people are there. So they will help you. You just contact them, and they will help you how to install OS, how to download all those things. They will help you. If you want, they will send videos.